the last 400 years. Have people been so deceived? It's always been bad, but this takes the cake. I mean, the wanton thievery. It's just beyond belief. People stand there and take it. And I guess you get the kind of government you deserve, run by bankers in Wall Street and international corporations from behind the scenes. Anyway, today I want to make a comment here, and I'm going to read it to you because it's going in Wednesday's issue, because we already covered a little bit of this in the current issue that's coming out tomorrow. You don't know this. This is going to be new to you, and you're going to find it quite surprising. Today, they came out with unemployment figures, 7.6% month before last, 8.1% last month. We have projected 10% plus for the year. That's on short-term unemployment. It could be a lot higher than that. Now, get this. The U3 unemployment, now that goes back to 1990, the long-term unemployment, 20.5%. Now, the real important figure is U6. It's short-term plus the people who no longer collect unemployment checks. They collected them for the duration, whatever that time frame is, 6 months or a year. You can't collect them anymore unless they extend it. That really, to me, is the real unemployment number. Government came out today and said that figure of unemployment was 14.8%. They're lying. That figure is really 17.8%. And it will be over 22% by the end of the year, and it will be over 35% by the end of next year. That's the kind of situation we're in. That is as nasty as it gets. We are going to see major civil dislocation next year and the years after. And once we start our deflationary depression, it is going to be awful. Again, freeze-dry, dehydrated foods, water filter, a method of defending your family, gold and silver coins, and if you like to speculate and gamble, you can buy stocks. And if you're not in that area, you are not going to survive. You're going to die. For 20 years, I've been right over 95% of the time. In the last 10 years, over 98% of the time. I don't like to have to tell you this. I don't make money doing this. I have a publication, that's it. Don't have any other streams of income from anything. I recommend stocks, I don't buy them. I recommend coins, I do buy them. And the reason I don't buy stocks is I don't want there to be any inference of impropriety. So I pass that opportunity up, or it's my specialty. You've got to do those things, and you've got to get your families to do it. I get maybe 10 emails a day. My father, my mother, my aunt, my grandma, my grandpa, they won't listen to me. They're already down 50% and they're going to lose it all. If they're subscribers, I tell them to give the International Forecaster to them. Maybe it'll jog them. not, I send them a copy of the IF and say, look, this is the best I can do. I can't get on the phone with everybody and talk for an hour about what they should do. I don't get paid for that. As much as I want to help people.
Bob, we're heading to break here, so folks, stay tuned. Thank you for joining us this afternoon. You're listening to Financial Survival, sponsored by Discount Gold and Silver Trading. 1-800-375-4188 for your gold and silver coin needs, and, of course, your complimentary issue to the International Forecaster. Give us a call at 800-375-4188. And, Bob, would you like to tell us about the International Forecaster, please?
Now, the Forecaster is about business, finance, economics, social and political issues all over the world. We publish via email on Wednesdays and Saturdays. Usually runs around 35 pages each time. And we have a hard copy that goes out twice a month for those who are not on the Internet. If you'd like to visit our site on the Internet, that address is theinternationalforecaster.com. theinternationalforecaster.com. If you have a question, you'd like to email us, that address is, and this is a new address, Bob at INTFORECASTER.com. That's Bob at INTFORECASTER.com.
800-375-4188 for your complimentary issues. And, of course, your gold and silver coins. 800-375-4188. And I'm sure most of you have heard us talking about the new bankruptcy law that will probably be passed that allows the bankruptcy judge, in order to let people keep their homes, and not only that, allows them to lower the principal. So if you're in a home, if you're in an area where your home values drop 50%, he can adjust their mortgages down to 50%, and it's only going to take effect for those that will be up and including the time of the passage of this legislation. So if you had a family, Bob, a husband and wife who've been struggling, maybe went through their savings so they could keep their home, and let's say this law passes today, and maybe they can't keep going because they lose their job 6 months from now, and even though they tried, they get penalized. And I mean, it's just like, how unfair how more unfair can it become? I mean, it makes everybody want to walk away from their homes.
To bail out the people who should have never had homes in the first place.
I know.
The people who are making $20,000, $25,000, $30,000, $35,000, who bought homes for $200,000 or $300,000 or $400,000 on their signature, those are good right. And most of them are at the lower end of the economic ladder, and it's a gift.
Yeah.
They're giving them the house, essentially. I wrote an article 5 years ago, and I said Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac are bankrupt. Everybody in the Beltway knows it. And they're going to nurse this thing along until they can't anymore. And as you know, about a year and a half ago, our government took them over, and you get to pay all the losses now instead of the shareholders and others. And I said that at that time that half the homes in America are going to end up being owned by the government. And the reason for that estimate is I said that subprime and Alta loan borrowers, 50% would default. And today the release of the information was that 48% have defaulted. 48. So that's how close I was. And the people who are getting these reductions, they're not going to make their payments either. This is just another waiting period, an extension of problems. because most of them are going to lose their jobs. Why? Because if they're at the bottom end of the totem pole, they're low-income people, and they're the first people to get shoved out the door along with selective management. I mean, the unemployment figures, which I gave you a bit of earlier, are just appalling. And I'm going to read some of this to you. I gave you the opening. By government estimates, between February the 1st of 2007 till now, we've lost over 5 million jobs.